And we're off. Hello, guys. My name is Patrick. This is the Ballin podcast. And in today's episode, I have a special guest with me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name's Tyrese.
So, Tyrese, with Tyrese, we're going to speak about football this time. We both have a lot of football knowledge, so it's only right to kind of share it about, see our opinions, and discuss different topics. First question, just to start off, Tyrese, what club do you support?
Unfortunately, Arsenal.
Oh, that's both unfortunately. Why do you say that? Why do you say unfortunately?
Unfortunately, we're in probably the worst time we've ever been in as a club. Currently sitting below, I think 11th last time I checked. So,
but would you say that's the worst time for you guys? Because realistically, you do have a good squad.
We have a good squad, but we don't have exactly what we need. We don't have any attacking outlet, and then we have this whole Ozil nonsense that's going on, where he's not playing, he's not part of any squad, and he's the position that we need the most. So annoying.
That is actually like, I feel sorry for Arsenal because the thing is, Ozil is actually a good player as well, and you guys pay him big money for him to just not even be included in any of the squads.
My view on it is that Ozil, at his complete and utter worst, can surely still put in something better than the Joe Willocks and the try-hard merchants, really. He's got the actual quality that even on a bad day, he can probably produce something.
And experience.
World Cup all he's got to do is sit there and try to just feed the Aubameyangs and the Pepes.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Attacking midfielder, he like back in his actual prime, he was a very good attacking midfielder, even back from Real Madrid days. I'm not too sure what actually happened between Arsenal's board and Ozil, but you guys would have definitely used him well this season, especially.
I think the worst part of it is that he's in his final year, and he was his signing. You know, when Arsenal won the long gold trophy drought, and then they finally won one. It was him that came back and kind of almost restarted that big deadline signing from Real Madrid to Arsenal. Like,
you remember
had like a great career. It was 2014, I think we signed him.
Right. Yeah. So you guys had him. Like you guys had him for a couple of years now.
I think this is. I think I saw it. It's 7th season. I think it might be something like that.
Yeah. And he's your most paid player as well, and not playing.
By a country mile as well. It's not even close. Aubameyang signed a new contract and still wasn't close to Ozil's contract.
But you know what? I'll be honest with you. From an outsider's perspective, from someone that... Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I think the saddest part of the Ozil thing as well is that the criticism that he gets is that he doesn't track back and things like that. And now we finally signed Thomas Partey to do that kind of tracking back and going forward. That Ozil probably would thrive this season.
Yeah, because Ozil isn't much of a box-to-box. He is just a pure cam. There to pass, there to kind of create chances, score occasionally. So, as I was saying, from an outsider's perspective, like... I've never actually had like feelings for Arsenal. I've never actually liked Arsenal, just purely because I'm a Chelsea fan. But seeing you guys like, I don't know, I wouldn't say mistreat the player because there's obviously two sides to everything. But for someone of his quality to be sitting at home getting paid a lot of money and do like literally nothing for the club, it is a bit like, I feel sorry for your actual club that you guys as fans have to experience that.
Yeah. So then things like that as well cause hostility because we'll have the fans back home that want Ozil playing, and every game that we keep going to and not creating chances while we have a cam on 350k a week tweeting like he's on football Twitter. It just creates a more ridge and then less trust in the manager who just came in, and I don't know. It's too much going on at once, and then we're not performing.
Why do you think that is? Because Mikel Arteta, when he first came in to you guys as not as a player, as a coach, he was doing pretty well. He won what did you guys win? FA Cup and
Community Shield.
So you like first season 2 trophies, and now start of the season it hasn't been going that well for him. Why do you think?
I feel like when Arteta came in, he had a lot of work to do with like repairing relationships and things like that. We had like Xhaka's incident against Palace where he told the fans whatever he said. He then what's it called? So he was about to go in January, and Arteta came in at the end of December, I think it was. So when he came in, it's just spent the first few times rebuilding relationships, and then the morale of the club went up. And then the way we set up like tactically against the big teams, which is what we ended up beating, like Chelsea in the Community Shield, Liverpool in the Community Shield, Chelsea
And
in the FA Cup
Chelsea in
final,
FA
and
Cup.
City in the semi-final. We kind of sat back, defended it, held it up, and then were able to hit nice counters, but with like lots of passes and things like that. But then you can only do it so much.
Yeah, that's true. And like until someone actually works out your game.
Like the issue with Arsenal are playing almost like a lower level team to the other top teams. So we go when we're meant to be at the home against like Leeds, like yesterday. We're meant to be attacking them from the get go. We shouldn't be
just
getting
controlling
less
the game.
possession, less shots. Yeah, like we're not playing like a big team.
Yeah, that is
everything's not blended.
You could also see that. Well, it is actually surprising that you guys actually do very well against big teams, but when it comes to the smaller ones, that's what you actually struggle with. But I think that's just the beauty of football, especially English football, where all of the teams have some sort of good quality in them that it actually gives that sort of rivalry. Like anyone can win with anyone in the Premier League, like this season at least. Anyway, I think.
Yeah, I feel like football's definitely evolved. I think maybe back in the day, call it like 10, 15 years ago, I think the top teams were better than they are now. They had like almost world-class players across the whole field. But then
it's like all the other Premier League teams would be championship level, but playing the Prem, basically.
Yeah, like the Boltons and the ones that kind of couldn't compete. So then the top teams are roughly the same depending on the order, like the Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, United, like the original top four. But now we've got like Wolves that just came into the Premier League and became a threat right from the get-go. Like any team, like you said, could beat any team and you wouldn't be surprised.
It's true. But going back to that team, Wolves actually done pretty well. They ended up, I'm not sure where they got the money from, but they ended up getting so many signings and so many good signings as well. That look what they ended up. They're Europa League this year.
Yeah, and it's
pretty sure made some money off Jota as well.
Yeah, because I think went for 40-something mil, so pretty decent.
Damn.
I think with Wolves as well, they spent smart because the same season I think they got promoted, Fulham got promoted, and Fulham spent like 110 million and finished in the bottom three and got relegated straight away and probably put themselves in an even worse financial situation. So it's all about spending smart as well.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Because I even remember that season that you're talking. Because this wasn't this season. This was like what, 3 seasons ago?
Yeah, 2 seasons ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was when Fulham came in as well. I remember that they bought who did they get? They got Sergio Rico from
that's Seri, that big one.
What, the centre back?
There was one centre mid, Seri, like Seri, but he was like really sought after that season where he played in, I think, France.
Oh, I don't know.
Everyone was surprised that he went to a team like Fulham because he was linked with like the Barcelonas and something like that, but somehow ended up at Fulham.
But yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So like when I saw like those big names, like for example, like I need Sergio Rico from like the La Liga, and I was thinking, wow, all these guys are actually going to these small teams that literally just came in. And what happened next season? Back to Championship relegation level.
Yep. And then they all have to leave because they can't afford to pay those kind of wages, and those kind of players aren't going to play in the Championship.
Yeah, and the fact that Championship has 48 matches rather than 38.
Yeah.
Is it 48? I think it's 48.
Yeah, because they got more teams, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the key is to spending smart. Because even United has spent so much, and look what they are.
Oh, United is a whole topic of itself because what do you actually like? What would you say about that team right now, as of 2020?
Like I thought that they've got so many varying issues that it's actually kind of crazy. I probably think the board might be an issue, but then how much can you blame the board because they're still giving the managers all the money to spend? They have so many different managers. I don't even know if their manager right now, Ollie, is even any good. Their squad doesn't have the depth they should have considering how much money they spent. Pogba hasn't been world class for United in years. There's a lot going on.
But you know what? From an outsider's perspective, we can't even pinpoint their team or what goes on in their team to kind of distinguish what is wrong with them. Because as me being a Chelsea fan and you as an Arsenal fan, my opinion on Man United has changed over the years. I used to hate Man United, especially when they when we were younger, when we were 2008 times when they were proper dominating. I hated Man United. And I hate them to this day. Just as a football fan, I still have that sort of thing towards Man United. But recently, it's just you kind of don't want that sort of fault of a big club. You don't want to see that that dynasty, that big sort of character in the sport to die out like that. Man United is a worldwide known football club that kind of promotes football at the same time. And for them to be where were they lost? Well, they're 10th right now.
Yeah,
even last season they were what? No, actually, last season they came third.
I think the last season was a bit of an anomaly because it
was an anomaly. Yeah,
with the whole pandemic and everything,
it.
and then it became penalty merchants for the last 10 games of the season. They were literally Bruno Fernandes penalty winning every game.
Even this season, every single game they probably have one penalty on average.
Yeah. United have the most VAR overturns more than any other club this season. They have 5, and the next person has 2.
But that's not even. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want to delve into that club because that club has so many variables within them that you can just talk about and have your opinion on. Because realistically, they're doing nothing right now.
They're literally an episode in themselves.
They got a 35-year-old Cavani to come in.
Mm-hmm. Then they bring in a young Van de Beek and not play him.
Which is actually a very good player.
Yeah.
He is a sick player. Even when he plays for Netherlands nowadays, when it was the international break, he was scoring goals.
Yeah.
Ajax, the same thing. He's scoring goals.
But he doesn't. And I can't understand why he doesn't play. I can't understand it. Because not that Pogba's playing amazing.
Yeah, that's true. What's their midfield right now?
Their main midfield is, I think, McTominay, Matic, Fred, Bruno, and Pogba, depending on whatever 3 mix that Oli decides to choose there. And then Van de Beek is normally one of the first subs to come on.
You know what? It's just appalling how they actually treated him. Such a quality player to go to such a, I don't know, downfall of a team that they don't even play him. They should actually utilize him as a good player and play him, but they choose not to for some reason, which is,
Yeah, but they employ Odi Nagalo, so that probably sums up a lot.
Yeah, they did.
I think that's a crisis. They get to go in a genuine transfer window and need a signing that badly that they go to Odi Nagalo in China is crazy. And then
wait, is he in this team?
He is still in the team. They extended his loan.
I'll think about what he's feeling. This guy went from playing in some random team in China to playing in one of the most best teams in the world.
Literally.
He must have been livid. Nah, but it's just what they're as I was saying, they're 10th right now, and I don't see them coming back up. Maybe last season they did, because last season they were in the same position, but then they end of the season they ended up pulling it to 3rd place. I don't think that's going to happen this year.
I agree. I don't think they've got the quality going the long haul for the season. I don't see them getting top 4 either. With the way the season's going,
or even top 6 to be fair.
Liverpool and City are so good that they've already cemented their place in the top 4, no matter how bad they might play or injured or anything. Chelsea's squad is amazing and kind of you're finally getting form now. So I probably see you as a top 4. And then we've got Spurs who are getting a revival under Mourinho.
Yeah. You know what? I'm rating what they're doing. I am. Yeah. They already have most of the same players that they had throughout the couple of last years. And Mourinho, a brilliant, a very controversial but brilliant manager coming in and doing what he's doing. I like this race. I want to see what happens between Spurs and Liverpool.
Yeah, and they've
where's Aston
made
Villa now? Is Aston Villa not?
they're around the top 10, but they went and lost their last game to Brighton. Yeah, Danny Welbeck scored.
Well, this is Aston Villa you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Villa. Yeah, they lost to.
Wow,
Yeah,
Villa
Danny
7.
Welbeck scored. But do you know what's crazy about Villa? It was
Yeah.
the penultimate game of the last season after Project Restart was against Arsenal. Arsenal's last two games were Villa and Watford. It was essentially in Arsenal's hands which team they were going to basically relegate that season. So if things went differently, we probably would have relegated. If we actually were good, we would have relegated Villa. Watford would have stayed up, and then Grealish probably would have 100% got sold. Like, it's crazy just how one result could change the whole club. Because now
It's
they probably
true.
won't get relegated.
It's true, and it's very true what you're saying about Grealish. I'm pretty sure it's one of these top teams would have swiped Grealish off Aston Villa if they went back to Championship.
Yeah, and now
And
even
now,
if he does go, they've given him a big contract, so he has to go for a lot of money.
oh, definitely, he's definitely like this season alone. It hasn't even reached the halfway point. He's already proved himself as a quality player.
Mm, mm. He's
That is
consistent for England, for Villa.
exactly, yeah. That's the thing. That's the player that England should kind of build around. Because really and truly, he is like what he plays as a cam as well, right? He plays
Yeah,
like
he plays
sort
like
of CM cam, same sort of thing. If you have people that will use the chances when he provides them, it's game over.
Yeah. To be honest, he's the player that Arsenal probably need to like almost take him to the next level that they need to. The party behind him, with Grealish being able to actually drive the ball forward and being Premier League proven. That's kind of what they need.
Yeah. I do see that. Grealish would fit well into Arsenal's team.
Mm.
He would be that kind of, that sort of, that glue that you guys need to kind of create everything together. Because right now, as I said previously, like you guys actually do have a good team. Like you do need to make a couple of changes there and there, just as a personal point of view. But overall, you do have good players. It's just that I don't know if it's the chemistry or if it's just something. It's just sometimes not working out.
Yeah, it's true.
And you see other teams like I'm really surprised. Like look, after Leicester's championship season, I didn't expect them to win it again. I expected them to go back to being their 10th place, 12th place team. For them to be since that season consistent, like I don't know if each season, but I know for the past 3 seasons they've been up there again.
Yeah, like Leicester's becoming a team that you wouldn't want to play. As a match like Chelsea or Arsenal when you see them thinking, we kind of got Leicester now, which would never ever would have happened years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
And Vardy is kind of insane. Ever since he's won the Premier League that season, he's consistently got minimum 15 goals a season.
Yeah. And what? He went into professional football at, I don't even know, 26, 27?
I think it was. Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's literally a factory worker. Crazy.
But that just shows that with determination or with the right sort of coaches or whatnot, you could actually make it. Doesn't matter what age.
Yeah.
And he's still he went into the top 10 of all-time Premier League goal scorers or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. He's definitely got over 100 Premier League goals now.
Yeah,
he's averaging roughly about a goal every other game since being in the Premier League, which is crazy.
That's crazy. It is for Premier League sort of statistics. That is very good.
Yeah, and it's not like he's playing for a big club either. He's playing for a Leicester. So to get that many goals for a team that's not the Cities or the Liverpools or something, insane.
And the funny thing is that they actually took away some of his playmakers, like what Mahrez, Kante.
Yeah.
Who else is there in the middle with them? A couple of people, but they just got bought by other clubs, and he's still been consistent.
Yeah. No matter who they put with him, he keeps on thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally averaging a goal every other game.
I think that just shows the quality of the player, to be fair.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised
as well.
Yeah, definitely. He is a very versatile guy and quick as well. But that's what I'm saying. I was quite surprised that he ended up retiring from international football quite early on. I think it was 2-3, I don't know. I think it was a year ago or whatnot. But it was after 2-3 years of just debuting. But thinking about it now, he is of age. He is 31. It is only right to make space for the younger generations.
Yeah, and
even though he could be potentially the best.
Yeah, maybe it's even good for his own body because if he doesn't go to the international breaks, he can perform better for Leicester. So there's no injuries when he goes out. Like when you're older, you don't really want to do that many games, and now they're in Europe as well.
Yeah. Have you seen his diet?
He was literally drinking a Red Bull before he came on sub and scored against Arsenal. Like I literally watched him on the bench. Like he's almost like he's not real.
It's a very weird diet. I'm not Google it after, but if I'm correct, it was like he would have a coffee or 2 coffees, a Red Bull, and something else to eat before each match.
Vardy just runs on caffeine alone.
Yeah, literally. How unhealthy that is, but how it works well for him, I just don't understand. It's crazy.
A lot of managers are strict with their players' diet. They won't allow them to have like fizzy drinks, squash, or anything. I guess when it's with Vardy, you just let him do what he wants to do if it's working.
Yeah, exactly. And why would anyone change that? I don't blame all these managers like Claudio Ranieri or Brendan Rodgers of like just letting him do what he does because he does it best.
Yeah.
So if it's not broken, don't fix it.
100%. Another crazy person that's coming forward, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh, you know what? That is looking lethal. He is looking lethal.
Yeah.
How much is it? 10 goals in how many games?
Probably 9 games this season. I think it's only been played.
Yeah.
So 10 games and 10 goals, 9 games.
Beautiful record, honestly. And he's been scoring in the international matches as well.
Yeah.
He is something to look forward to as well. I'm not too sure what his age is actually, but I'm pretty sure he is quite young.
Yeah, 23.
He's 23. There you go.
Yeah.
That's literally just oh wow, he's actually a year older than me. You know, that's another thing. It's crazy. Like, we're reaching an age where we're, 21, 22, and it's crazy to think that these guys are 18, 17, 19 and literally play professional football.
Like, I'm looking to be getting shirts with people's names that are younger than me.
Yeah, that is so weird. I always had the idea, I'm going to be a footballer, things like that. Yeah. I'm going to have my name. And then I'm seeing people just debuting. Like what? The other guy, the other day, I'm not too sure what his name is. He's literally just turned 16 and he was allowed to be put on as a sub for Borussia Dortmund. At 16 years old.
Crazy.
That's what, 2004?
Oh my God.
Honestly.
Wow, yeah. That's actually insane. Wow.
Time's flying. But at the same time, you know what? I disagree with putting youngsters like that on the pitch. It creates too much pressure on them in terms of physicality.
Yeah. With the media as well. The minute you make a debut at 16, you're now meant to be held as the next best thing, and every single player has all that pressure when you're under 18 and performing. Like, I don't know. I feel sorry for youngsters because, say for example, Saka, who had a really good season for us last season. If he doesn't do well this season, he's now got all that pressure of, what happened to young Saka and this and that. It's not fair.
At least Saka's getting game time, to be fair.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's 18 and probably our best player at the moment, but yeah.
I don't know, I think it's just the fact that, even just biologically, your body's not fully developed when you're at that age. Your body fully develops when you're in your 20s, like early 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah, like McTominay, when he was like 18, was like 5'8" or 5'9", and now he's 6'4".
Yeah, I've seen that. He did grow over like one season.
Yeah, like a major growth.
That's the thing, and it's like you're putting so much, okay, I'm not saying so much pressure because he's probably going on for like 30 minutes or whatnot, but you're putting a 16-year-old that's literally still developing his muscles, without getting onto him, he's still developing, and putting him against like Socrates, who's like, if he bodies him, he'll just like fly.
Yeah. Even that the other one who went to Dortmund, Jude Bellingham, like they in the pressure they give him, they retired his number at Birmingham.
I don't understand.
Because he played well. Why would you do that? It kind of makes a mockery of doing that now.
It makes a mockery of their club.
Yeah.
It's not like he's been like there for 5-10 years. He's probably been in the top squad for like... numbers. Yeah, exactly. Because he's 17. Bellingham is 17. And he debuted for England the other day as well.
Yeah. And then no one will ever be a number 22 for Birmingham ever again because Jude Bellingham had one good season.
In the top squad, like I think he's one of their like academy prospects.
Oh yeah.
But still, that doesn't give an excuse to retire his number. I'm sorry, but like you don't see Man United retiring Ronaldo's number.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to go here, but I've seen people that pass away and they don't retire their number. So I don't know why they would do it for him like that.
But that's another thing. It's like why did Dortmund buy this? I'm okay. I've never seen Bellingham properly play, but they like for me just a random kid from Birmingham.
Yeah.
I went to
Dortmund love doing that.
Playing in first squad.
Yeah. Dortmund love picking up these little buys and then selling them off for like 150 million 2 seasons later.
What is Dortmund planning with that? Because they've been doing that for quite a while now. They've been doing that for the past 10 years. And it's like, you do that if you're trying to develop your club.
Yeah, how about you actually try to win the league rather than letting Bayern win it every season?
Every season.
It's like they're fixating on making profit rather than actually trying to win the league.
And it's like they know that they're the only ones that have a chance of kind of, rivaling with Bayern. Actually, now what? Did they got smacked 6-0 the other time, right?
The funny thing with Bayern and Dortmund, I feel like there's such a big gap between them, not even in the table, but between the quality of them, that whenever they even play, you think that Dortmund might be able to win the season this season. Then they'll get slapped about by Munich. And it just shows us, like, Bayern Munich are just nowhere near Dortmund.
But like to be completely honest with you, I've watched a couple of Bundesliga matches with Bayern as well, so I've kind of got used to like their way of playing. And I'm gonna be honest with you that if Bayern played in any of the top 5 leagues, they would be on top. Because the way that they move the football about, they have so much chemistry within their team, which is quite weird because they have all ages in that team, in the first team especially, going from Alphonso Davies, which is 19, to Neuer and Lewandowski, which are in the 32, 33 margin.
Yeah.
So the fact that all that glues together and it works is just astonishing. And the way that they play is crazy as well.
Like, I've seen the build-up play. I was watching them, I think, the highlights of them against Dortmund. And it was just, they were just running through them at certain times. Like, I think Lewandowski had, like, a couple goals ruled out. And just the way they play is just nowhere near. That's why they won the Champions League relatively easily as well.
Oh, 8-2 against Barcelona.
Embarrassing, that is.
Semi-final.
But speaking of Barcelona, should we talk about Barcelona? They're like 10th, 11th in the league.
That's been my team. I'm going to be honest with you. That's been my team since I was a kid. Since I was a little kid, yeah. And getting used to them being first, second in the league. Because what? They've been first and second for the past 15 seasons, bro. Well, maybe third once. I'm not too sure on that. I would have to double check. But they've been, I know definitely top 3 for the past 15 seasons. And I'm not too sure, they've had ups and downs in the first part of the season before. So they were like, past the top 3. I've seen them past the top 3 before, but they always make it back up. But this time, I'm not too sure if they will.
Yeah. And even when I look at Boston, I don't know what's happening with football. It's just me. But don't you just feel like all the top teams just aren't anywhere near as good as they used to? Like, they got the AC Milans that are nothing. Inter Milan doesn't seem to have what they used to have. Barcelona, even Real Madrid. The squads aren't what they used to be.
100%. Except for Milan, because Milan had like a lot of years that they were down, but now they're on top of the league. So props to them.
Undefeated. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Undefeated. Damn.
The striker is 39. He's 39.
Yeah. But no, honestly, you know what? You have to give credit where it's due. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. That's the generation of players where you see modernity kicking in. The fact that they can take care of their bodies better, they'll be able to play for longer.
Yeah. Like, a 39-year-old has no business being in the top 5 leagues, being in a team that's undefeated with 10 goals in like 9 games.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's maybe even more now because he scored yesterday. He scored 2 yesterday, so he's on 12 goals and he's top goal scorer for the league.
Like, it's crazy to think that Milan's revival was put in getting him back from the MLS. I thought he was not. I wouldn't say washed, but I thought he couldn't be top level quality like that anymore. He can't.
Nah,
Surely not be able to
100%.
keep up.
100%. Even when he was going to MLS, we were all like, I'm pretty sure everyone was like, yeah, like Zlatan was good whilst it lasted. And then only for him to come back to Milan as a emergency signing. And then be top of the...
An emergency signing is not this. I thought he'd be one of those players who would be on the bench. He's a big name, big personality.
Yeah.
Would also
going in for the last 20
I
minutes.
didn't think he was going to be the talisman. Yeah. This guy starts the games, takes their penalties. It's just crazy. Genuinely crazy. Oh my God, they're 12th. Barcelona 12th.
Barcelona 12th. After like game week 4 or 5, I don't even remember what it was. I stopped checking La Liga. I'm like, it's a bit with that one. Is what can you actually pinpoint there as well? A new manager, maybe that's it. Maybe the the unhappiness or low morale of Messi.
Yeah,
anything could be the case.
I think a big part of Barcelona's downfall is that their spending has just been silly. They spend big money on, like, I'm not quite sure why they decided to swap Arthur for Pjanic. Arthur, who's like 23, for Pjanic, who's like 30. Like, I don't need to be in charge of a football club to know that doesn't really make sense to me.
That's true. 100%. And it's the fact that they even bought both Coutinho and Dembele for 120 minimum.
And then we got Griezmann, who hasn't really performed, that they bought for like 90 mil.
I forgot about Griezmann. That's another 120 mil. That's another like 100 mil. For what? For a guy that literally is, I don't know how old Griezmann is, 29, 20, 30?
I think he's 30. 29.
It's like, even, you know what, yeah? Okay, cool. You're buying all these strikers, fair enough. All these attackers, fair enough. But what's going on with defense?
Like, PK has been a main centre back for years. Like, who's going
to be Jordi Alba's replacement?
Like the next PK.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted Umtiti to be next PK. Like, I don't understand.
I don't get. As long as they've not they're thinking about the now, but they put no thought into anything that's going on in the future for the club. They have a ridiculous amount of players above 30.
And it's all, and it's you know what, and it's all like those players are the ones that kind of created that club. Like what, Busquets, Messi, PK. They were there since like the Guardiola era where they started taking over Europe. And you know what, I feel sorry for them that they have to play and watch that downfall of Barcelona. I'm not sure for how long. I hope not that long, but this season, it's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of these players that play for these clubs, that they're irreplaceable. They haven't been able to replace the Iniestas, not PK, the Xavis, and they're just not replaceable players. And then they kind of put them with semi-likewise players that aren't really cutting it and not really good enough.
Yeah, it's true. I see that as well. But going back to that Arthur situation, that just kind of caught me off guard, because at the same time, it's like, yeah, cool, one's young, one's old. But it's like Arthur didn't even play that bad for him to be traded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it wasn't like they were doing it for like big money either. It was almost a swap.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. You know what? Juve must have had a party after that trade, because what they pulled off is just like they got a little 22-year-old or 30-year-old. But you know what? Yeah, Pjanic is quality. He is a quality player, but going of age.
Yeah. Just the thought process behind it, I didn't get it.
How did you find the football with the pandemic? Did you watch much of it, or was it not? Because I know you play for university as well, right? You play recreationally a bit.
Yeah. So are you talking about playing or watching, sorry?
Why not both?
We'll start with playing. So I started it when I went to uni. I started doing it every Wednesday. We'd have like a different game. We played futsal, and it was like a league. It wasn't like the official like Bucks league for the uni, but it was like a recreational football. But I was still taking semi-seriously. Kind of like Sunday league or something like that. And I was
Okay.
really enjoying it. And also, along with that, is like I was doing taekwondo. So then going to the campus, being fit by walking around, doing the taekwondo, doing football. It's good for your your health, like mentally as well. You're always
Oh,
doing something. You're
100%.
always like
Occupied.
you're not cooped up in your room. And the pandemic came and it just devastated everyone really. And
Yeah.
there was no football to watch. The March and April was a very sad time. When I think
It
back to it.
was. There was nothing going on in the TV. Everyone had to
Like,
rely on Netflix or just playing games.
I've never played Fortnite like I did in the pandemic, and I never will.
Yeah, honestly, that pandemic it just changed. Like, I think it had. You know what? I'm not sure if it's a good impact or a bad impact, but it definitely had an impact on the sports world and how it's going to perceive like situations like that from now on.
Yeah, like financially, really ruined a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
Like I think Spurs lost like 60 million last season because of the pandemic, where they would have gained, and the season before that they gained a profit of 60 million. So they literally gone completely.
But is that what? Is that just shirt sales and merchandise, or are we talking about like I don't know TV rights?
I'll be honest, I don't fully know. Maybe it might be
Yeah,
the actual people going to the stadium, the season tickets, and all that kind
season
of stuff.
tickets as well. Yeah. That's true. A
Getting
lot.
to the
Yeah.
point, I forgot what it's like to even have fans in the stadium now when I'm watching football live.
We kind of got used to it, innit? So many years
Yeah,
watching fans being there chanting, and now when it's just empty, you kind of still hear them because they put it on like in the background, but you don't see
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
You don't see
yeah.
anyone.
And you can never authenticate the actual sound because, like, for example, a derby game, like Arsenal Spurs or something like that, you can't replicate with fake audio from years ago and everything because it's just not the same. I've literally
Yeah, it's
watched
true.
the fans rally up their team to actually go and do a comeback and things like that. It's not the
Yeah.
same feeling now for the players. The players
You-
don't get that extra support from the fans that they can feel and hear.
Yeah, it's intriguing what the players must be going through.
Mm, mm.
When they interview them and they talk about the matches, they always say that it's a weird feeling playing without fans.
Yeah, it's like even when you're watching, it feels like a training match if you don't have the fake crowd audio in the background. Like you
Yeah.
actually hear them speak and everything. It's insane.
It's like even with the Champions League final that happened during the pandemic when it was Bayern
Uh,
Munich PSG, it just
oh,
didn't
it
feel
was
right.
stale. It was stale.
I would have rather just not watch that match and watch it like I don't know 2 months 3 months later just with fans.
Yeah. And like it didn't help that the match was 1-0 as well.
Yeah, that was honestly that was one of the most boring finals. I thought that Bayern Munich are going to have that in their pocket just straight up, but
Yeah.
PSG gave them a fight, which is you know what, fair enough on them.
PSG is such a weird team for me. I just minus the
Yeah,
Mbappe
you
and
know
the
what?
Neymar.
Yeah, that's true.
They just don't have that much that should. I don't feel like they probably even would have made it to a Champions League final. Their route to the final was a little bit easier than the Bayern Munich route. Because
They
Bayern had
got
like the
allowed us that
Barcelona.
so badly that route, you know.
Yeah, because it was Leipzig they had to play, and I don't even know the
Atalanta.
other one. Yeah, like the teams that you wouldn't even like predict to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even when the final came, like Neymar went missing, and funny enough, on the run to the final, Neymar was actually going missing in a few games. Like he was playing well, but clinically he just wasn't there.
Yeah. He was always that like, you know, he dribbled past a couple of players and then lose the ball, but then that doesn't give you the score, innit? You have to get the
True.
score. Mbappe played well. Mbappe played really
Yeah.
well. But that's what I was gonna say. For their money, for what PSG has in terms of income and finance, I would have expected them to be a top club by now.
Like, you know what I think? Say they put the big money into the Neymar and the Mbappe, but it feels like they just
Yeah.
don't care after that. Like Choupo-Moting and things like that. How does Choupo-Moting go from Stoke to PSG? I
Yeah.
genuinely do not know.
That's
And now
true.
he's going from PSG to
To
Bayern Munich.
Bayern.
He's got like the world's greatest agent.
Honestly, his agent must have done some mad deal with him. But that's the thing, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like, but that's okay. Choupo-Moting is a striker, but what about the defense and midfield?
Like, say this season, like there was a big bid on everything looking at Koulibaly. PSG have the money. They didn't even like. It's not like they even looked at Koulibaly. like they knew Thiago Silva was leaving, who's been there for years.
Yeah.
They just didn't get a major like centre back. And I don't get it because they have money. Like they just spend their money on weird things.
Nah, it's true. It's true. And then they get washed players as well coming into their team and playing first squad. Like for example, Bernat. Bernat was a bit of I remember Bernat when he was playing at Bayern Munich, and when I tell you that he did not perform to that standard, he did not perform. And for him to only go to PSG and start playing for them in the first squad, that just shows how much of a joke PSG is, or their board is.
Yeah. Then Idrissa Gueye, he was playing for Everton, wasn't playing particularly well. He started off CDM for PSG. PSG seems to be the team you go to and you're not playing that well.
Yeah, honestly, what's going on with them? They want to be that, they want to get out of that Farmers League sort of mentality, go into the Champions League, win some games, but nothing's going on. Yeah. You have Verratti, which is your only good midfielder, like close to world-class midfielder that you have. Everyone else is just a bit all over the place.
When I look at this squad, I follow they've got like 6 quality. They got the Mbappe, Neymar. I'll include the Cardi as well. Verratti, probably Marquinhos, and maybe Keylor Navas. So Keylor Navas quite. Oh yeah, Di Maria as well. Yeah. Yeah. But then the rest of the squad, I just look at them. I'm just like, it's kind of mess.
Where did you come from?
Like, I just look at the squad like, who are you?
Yeah,
You're like 25 honestly. And play for PSG, and I've never heard of you before. And let me actually look through their squad. Their squad has just the most random players.
And this literally just came to my mind as well. We're mentioning them buying fairly average players, but what about them selling good players? Because when I tell you, Thomas Meunier was a very good fullback for them. He was scoring and he was assisting. And what happened to him? They ended up trading him. I don't think anyone goes from a PSG to. I'm not sure where did Thomas Meunier go? Was it like Marseille?
You went to
Marseille or Dortmund? Yeah. So I can't lie, it is still a bit of a step down, just purely because Dortmund don't have the team to actually rival with the big ones, whilst PSG semi have. But the fact that they got rid of an actual good player just blew my mind away.
Yeah, I'm looking for the squad, and I can't believe they employ some of these people. When was the last time Levan Kazawa did anything of note?
Yeah, that's true.
I forgot they've got Julian Draxler, who was meant to be the next greatest thing, who has done nothing about 5 years.
That's what I was going to mention to you as well, is the wasted talent. Julian Draxler, when he was back in Wolfsburg, very good player, very good attacking midfielder. Even when he played for Germany, younger and senior levels, he was performing well. Comes to PSG, different story.
And they still employ that Jesse Rodriguez, the Real Madrid star. He meant to be on par with Ronaldo. And they've loaned him out 4 times. 4 times they've loaned him out.
I have not heard of that.
And he's back at the club. They really do boggle my mind with the squad. The squad is very old. Ander Herrera, how does he go from United to PSG?
Yeah. What about Moise Kean? Was sitting on the bench for Everton, but then got brought by PSG.
Like, to show you how bad Moise Kean was last season, he came on as a sub and got substituted without being injured. That's how bad he was playing, and he just goes to PSG.
My days.
Quite literally, if you play for a decent team and you're not having a good time, hit up PSG and they'll probably buy you.
Honestly, I don't understand what is going on. But they did make one good signing over the summer. Florenzi.
Yeah.
Right
so
back.
They want to replace Meunier. They replaced Meunier with another right back. So they replaced a good right back with another good right back.
So you replaced a good right back with a good right back. Well done, PSG.
Rather than replacing then your not so good left back with an actually good left back.
It's just, but even looking at the midfield, like I'm not gonna lie, but Sarabia, in Sevilla, he didn't play well, and now he's in PSG.
Yeah, Danilo Pereira, he's been sitting in the Portuguese league for all these years. He's 29, and he's going to PSG. Danilo Pereira looks like a buy that if he was still playing that long in the Portuguese league, he should probably go to a team like an Everton. Ones that be like, oh, that might be a good signing for them.
You
I
know
don't know how
what?
he ends up for the biggest team in France.
I'm glad we actually started talking about PSG because it opened my eyes very wide, and I'm pretty sure it opened your eyes because I'm literally just deepening how much of a joke this team is. This is supposed to be a team which is representing France and at the same time rivaling for European Cups. And they decide to buy Danilo Pereira from the Portuguese league. And Ander
And they
Herrera,
wonder why
which was
like,
oh,
it's actually embarrassing. And like they wonder why they lost their last game to Monaco. They were like
yeah, they
2-0
did.
up and lost.
Yeah. And Fabregas, which is like 34, had to come on and actually
Like,
like change the game.
Fabregas came on changed the game against PSG. Fabregas hasn't been at the top level since he left Chelsea like 3 years ago.
Well, hey, look what they even done with their goalkeepers. They bought Keylor Navas in, and they bought Sergio Rico in, and they got rid of Alphonse Areola.
Yeah, and he now plays for
Fulham.
I, I really don't get the transfer policy. They sell to weird teams, they buy from weird teams, they buy weird players. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it.
Yeah, it's the fact that Areola was actually playing all right for them as well. That's just so.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, because they did the swap Areola for Keylor Navas. And I was.
No, was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, Areola went to.
He went to Real Madrid on loan, and he was the backup to Courtois, and then he went back to PSG, and they sold him to Fulham, I think.
Oh my days.
And
But you know
let's
what?
see how
At least he ended up winning the La Liga with Real Madrid, so props to him for that.
True.
He was sitting
And
on the bench and got the La Liga, so.
Areola is 27, and Keylor Navas is 33.
But even the choice in the managers that they get, like Emery, Thomas Tuchel, these are just guys that took over one team, done pretty well with them, but that's it.
Bear in mind, since Allegri has left Juve, no one has hit him up, and now they've got kind of they don't have bad managers. They just have like the manager that you can see will not take them to the winning Champions League level.
Yeah, exactly.
Winning the treble means nothing for them because they do it every other season.
It's true. What's the point? Yeah, I agree 100%. It's like actually concentrate on what's important to you.
Mm-hmm. At least when Bayern Munich win the treble, they actually win the Champions League with it.
Nah, you know what? That Bayern team is a joke. Like they actually they're on the way of winning the 6th title if they win the FIFA Club World Cup.
Like, I don't get. I don't understand how they could possibly replace who was it, Ribery and Robin, and they end up getting Sane and Gnabry, and they're just literally almost like reincarnates of this. This is perfect. I look at their squad and man for man, I'm just like, wow.
And you know what?
And I'm just like, wow.
If one of them's tired, that's fine. We got Coman on the bench. He's got a couple of fresh, fast legs.
Oh, you know what? You're so tired. How about we bring on Douglas Costa? Their squad is utterly ridiculous. Like man for man.
You know what? I forgot about Douglas Costa. You're right.
Like it's genuinely crazy. And then the thing with it as well, their store's got so much youth. Like they've got, like you said, they got a good balance between like the Boatengs, Lewandowskis, the Mullers on the higher end. But they've got Alphonso Davies is 20, Lucas Hernandez 24, Sule is 25, Tolisso is 26, Coman's 24, Kimmich 25. They got so much good players that are young.
Did you know that Coman is I just remember because you said that Coman is 24 and he's won a championship in every single league, every single season that he played.
But he's never not won the league.
Yeah, and he's won 2 French leagues, 2 Italian leagues, and I think like 4 with Bayern Munich now.
And then he goes on with the Champions League, scoring the goal in the final.
Yeah, exactly. After coming back from a serious injury where he actually thought of retiring.
Yeah, and if he didn't get injured before, he would have won the 2018 World Cup as well. He would have basically won all there is to win at 24.
It's true.
Only thing he's got left to conquer is England. That's literally it.
Wait, hold up. He didn't get selected for
2018. No, I think he was injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he was just not performing well or something. But yeah, he didn't get selected. I know Martial did, but he didn't.
Crazy. Genuinely crazy.
It's
can't.
that
I
depth.
can't.
It's
I'm
that
looking
depth.
at this. Like that's what I think. All the teams in the world. This is why Bayern are so good. Their starting 11, fantastic, and every player they can bring off the bench are fantastic.
Yeah.
Wait, let me read their bench from the last game. They drew it, but doesn't mean they won the league.
Yeah. Go
The
on.
bench had like Goretzka, Sane, Choupo-Moting, Gnabry, and these are the players like Alphonso Davies is injured, Kimmich is injured, Tolisso is injured, and they're still able to field a very good 11 and a good 3-4 people on the bench that would start for any other club really.
I'm telling you, this club is a joke. Like the depth that they have is incredible. I don't know. I don't know who
Genuinely.
rules their board. It's Rummenigge that I think rules their board, but he's doing a great. Like whoever's running their board is doing a great job, definitely. Because I was like,
Because
as a Lewandowski fan, sorry to interrupt you. Just as a Lewandowski fan, I've been following Bayern for like a couple of years now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
yeah,
obviously wanted to win UCL just purely for him to win it, sort of thing. So over the past couple of years, when I've seen them, exit UCL from stupid games, from stupid silly mistakes like Vidal getting a red card in the 20th minute, to actually seeing them dominate the whole actual Champions League, it was incredible.
yeah. The only sad thing about it was that they didn't have the fans when they finally able to like fully just do it again.
Yeah, that's true.
And the big thing was their new manager that they brought in. Like, I know they sacked the manager I think at the start of last season, and this
Yeah, he
man's
took
come
over
in. He's done 50 games as manager for Bayern Munich, won 45, drew 2, and lost 3.
and lost 3. Yeah, nah, crazy stat, crazy stat. Hansi Flick is a definitely like is a sick manager, but he does have a lot of experience. He was the assistant manager to Joachim Löw for how many years, and they've won they've won World Cup together as well. So in a way, he knew kind of some of these players as well. But that's no excuse. That's a perfect excuse just for success if you think about it, because he knew how to direct these players at this point.
Like you can see, they got quality players, but like you said, their system is immaculate. Like when I watched their goals build up, and it's like each player knows exactly what they're doing, where to run, where to be, and just they do it to a perfect level.
Yeah,
They're literally fascinating to watch.
and they have that the young Englishman wasn't Jamal Mushawa, I think. Musiala?
Yeah, I think he started last game. Yeah, Musiala, yeah. He's
Yeah,
17.
yeah.
He's not even technically part of the main squad. I just looking here, he's still part of the Bayern Munich 2 team. He's
Yeah,
only
he fully
just
I know for this season he fully he's I think he's had like 5 appearances already and scored
crazy.
as well.
Yeah, crazy. Scored 2 goals, yeah. 6 games, yeah. Wow. That's actually really crazy. It was a good time to be a Bayern Munich fan.
Nah, definitely. But it's upsetting to see that sort of thing. Like, okay, with Premier League, excluding Premier League, because Premier League is having I'm really enjoying this season. I like the fact that there's no, no pure win or anything like that. Like everyone's kind of like balanced level in a way. But when you watch Bundesliga or League One in France, it's just like you see that dominance from just these two teams.
Yeah. Even in Italy, Juve won the league like 9 years in a row.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I didn't include Juve because I know I know Juve's not on top right now, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Nine in a row. That's crazy.
I wouldn't want to like support a team in the league knowing that you have no prospects or chance of contending because the main team is too good.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a nice feeling.
Because think about it, if you're like a Stuttgart fan. Yeah, go on, sorry.
No, sorry. I was gonna say when last season when Liverpool did it, that's the closest thing we got to a team being that you knew they won the league from almost the get go. They didn't lose a game until like March.
Yeah, that's true. They only had like what 2 losses until that time.
Like they're undefeated in at home in like 4 years. Sadio Mane has never lost a game at home. He's never lost at Anfield. How insane is that? Bear in mind, yeah, they played one of those games against a Barcelona team and they were 3-0 down, and he still didn't lose.
I can't believe that happened.
You
How
know
can you
what? When I
blow a
look back at the
3-0
game,
lead?
I'm angry at Usman Dembele because in the first game, in the 90th minute, he was clear through and he had a big chance to make it 4-0 and he fluffed his lines.
Bro, let me tell you, the other day, literally, that's the funny thing is 2, 3 days ago, I was watching that match. I was watching the highlights that BT Sport put on YouTube. And I was watching the highlights of that match and I saw that situation as well. And I remember how crucial that situation was and people were getting pissed off back then at it. And I was watching it and I'm like, wow, like this team is actually like, what? Messi just banged a beautiful free kick in to make it 3-0. This is wonderful. And I can't lie, the next video was the other match, 4-0 match. I closed the application. I was not watching that.
I think, yeah, that I Barcelona have that in them to just really like lose big. Even when against Roma the year before, where they should just not be losing that game.
Exactly. And that was a similar situation as well compared to what you said about Dembele. There was a similar situation with Suarez where he didn't score in the first match.
As a Messi fan, I really wanted him to get one more Champions League before he retired. And I feel like Barca tried so hard, and year after year, something always happens. Like 8-2 is a joke. You should never, ever, ever be losing 8-2 in the Champions League.
Not in a semi-final anyway.
That's just not right.
I don't know what happened that time. Was like what would you even target? What would you even blame there? It's 11 versus 11. It's not like they had 8 players on the pitch.
Like, as a man, I don't know. Pride-wise, I could not let, like, obviously one man can't do it, one change, but like each one together, how are you letting them just keep running through you?
Yeah.
In my head, when I say when Liverpool scored their second goal, and you're kind of thinking, you know what, the energy's coming, the fans are booming, they're coming back. When you just be like, you know what, forget trying to score. Let's just bulk up and not let them pass.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
a big team. You're not like you're a little team that they're running over. You go to their ground and be like, you know what, we don't need to score. We're already up by God knows how many goals.
Be aware. Need to score the goals. At least be aware. Don't let the 20-year-old Alexander-Arnold take a quicker free kick. Hey. Take a corner kick.
How have you let Divock, Origi, and Junior Wijnaldum just knock you out of the Champions League?
And you know what?
Insane.
Props to Origi. He ended up scoring in the final as well. So
you figure agree as well. He celebrates like he doesn't know that he scored in the Champions League final. He kind of just was like, it is what it is.
Yeah. He did have that sort of reaction. You're right.
He just kind of just ran to the corner flag with his arms out.
I don't even know. I think I would do laps around the pitches if I scored in the UCL final.
UCL final, and there was a second goal as well to confirm the win. My shirt's going off, and I'm jumping into the fan.
Yeah. I'm taking. If I already have a yellow, I'm taking that second yellow. At least we have 2-0.
I'll be like, send me off. I'll come back out when the trophy is ready. That's insane. And this guy's just like, whoa, yeah.
Nah, crazy. That was that match, that final has a lot of mixed reviews as well. A lot of people saying it was a boring match, and I see that as well.
You know, what was the Champions League before? I think they haven't had a good Champions League final since Real Madrid, Liverpool, where Karius had a mare.
So
that was actually like a
that was three. That was three finals ago, basically.
Yeah, so haven't had like a big, like nice final. I just feel like the feeling of finals are changing. You know, like do you remember back to obviously probably a great moment for you, but Chelsea Bayern, the feel of that final as a football fan. I hate Chelsea. And I had goosebumps when Didier Drogba scoring a 90th minute.
I had the game. I was watching that game, and I had the game done. Like I was like, "There's no like, yeah, Bayern's got it." And I see that powerful header from Drogba going just below the crossbar. Wow.
The craziest thing with it was against like a prime Neuer, and he literally jumped, and it couldn't have been any more of a better header than I've ever seen. He goes so much vim in the top corner that he couldn't save it.
Look at how many factors are coming in. As you're saying, it's a prime Neuer. It's at the Bayern stable. The final was actually in Munich.
It
was in Munich. It was 89th minute, and it was a corner kick, and he ended up scoring it.
The craziest thing was like it was almost as if that game went to a script for Chelsea to win. was like the movie moment, like when in Karate Kid when he finally wins it right at the end. It was literally like that with Chelsea because you knew Drogba knew it was his last game before he came back a second time, but it was going to be his last game. It was literally a movie. He saved you from in a penalty shootout as well.
Yeah, he scored
the
the last
final
time.
kick win. Genuinely crazy.
Nah,
I just feel
I
like
only
the
have
fans
good
don't come like
memories
that
of
anymore.
Drogba, definitely, for Chelsea.
Yeah, big game player.
Very good, like game player, just a clutch player. The fact that that team, that Chelsea team, had a lot of potential. Even they went into the 2008 Champions League final, which that's quite upsetting as well. I ended up crying that time. That's a John Terry missing penalty. In the final, you decide to slip.
You slip, and you're the captain. And it wasn't like it was just to save you or to keep up. It was the one to win it, and he slips.
You know what's worse? Ronaldo didn't score his one. Ronaldo was the first one to take, and he missed it. Yep. So that was if Chelsea. I'm telling you, if Chelsea won that, because I'm a Messi over Ronaldo fan. If Chelsea won that, I would have been over the moon.
Yeah.
And now what? 10, 12 years later, Ronaldo's on 5 Champions Leagues.
Yeah, won it 3 years in a row.
Oh, that is just, you know what? Whenever I think of that, it just puts tears to my eyes. Like, how did 3 different teams, Juve, Atletico, and Liverpool all decide to, let's just give these guys another Champions League trophy?
I think the one that annoyed me as well was I think it was the Atletico versus Real Madrid one, because it was really tight until that waistband Ramos scored a header, and an extra time came and he just obliterated them in the extra time.
Yeah, it's like all the morale just went down during that little break.
It was, I don't know what the gaffer said to them, but
I remember that game. I know it's very weird because that was like that was the 90th minute as well. So you know what? I kind of don't blame them for the morale going down, because if you think about it, you're thinking that you have the game in hand, and then literally for a little corner and Ramos just bullets a header into the goal.
Wait, Champions League final.
As a Barcelona, that was really upsetting to see Real Madrid just winning all these years. What do you think of Real Madrid now?
True. Yikes. When they won it last season, it was almost like they played well but didn't play well at the same time. That makes sense. Like defensively, they were really good.
Yeah.
And they basically capitalized on Barcelona kind of bottling it.
Yeah. That's the main factor there. I think they just capitalized the fact that Barcelona was just out of form for the last part of the season.
Yeah. And then we've had Hazard go there. He's been overweight, injured, overweight again, and injured again. And
how do you go from Chelsea? How do you go from a Europa League winning team, Chelsea, where you were the star player, to Real Madrid, where they classified you as overweight?
Like, what happened in that summer? I've never felt more anger than seeing Eden Hazard in Baku when we got obliterated 4-1. Like he quite literally just put a team on his back, and everyone was playing well with him, and he just ran it. And then like 3 months later, he's now like not fit enough to play for Real Madrid. I enjoyed that summer a bit too hard.
Yeah, honestly, I don't understand what happened there. What caused him to, like, I don't know. But did they give him a diet after that? Because until this day, he hasn't been back in form.
Yeah, he is. I think he's had 2 big injuries since being there as well. So I guess when you're injured as well, you can't really
it's different.
Eating more. You no longer have to put up with London's nonsense weather. So
Yeah, he's now in sunny Madrid.
You know, one part that I always think about when it comes to football, it always boggles my mind when like a player goes from like a beautiful like city of like Madrid to like randomly be chilling in Stoke. Like I can't imagine, like, for me, James Rodriguez moving from Madrid to like he now lives in Liverpool. I don't know. In my head, it always feels weird to see these players go from certain teams to certain places, and now they.
Do you remember Nolito?
Nolito, the one who played for City.
Yeah. So Nolito played for City for what, a year, maybe 2 years, 2 seasons, if I'm not correct. Yeah. I think it was 1. Why do you think he played there for so short? He hated the weather there. Him and his family couldn't find their couldn't find a life there. Basically, his wife was like, unhappy there, and he just ended up moving back to Sevilla with that, or was it Valencia? One of those teams, but just basically back to Madrid, or sorry, not Madrid, back to Spain.
Yeah, that's the same kind of thing with Di Maria. Di Maria went from Madrid to Manchester, and even his wife until today, they can't stand Manchester and Manchester United. They hate it.
Yeah,
the weather, the everything. I remember they kind of were shown. They were shown all the way the English people were dressing and all that kind of stuff, and it felt really dirty or something along those lines. The wife
I
hates
know,
it.
I know.
Then you go from Manchester to Paris.
You know what? Yeah, like it's funny looking for people that are for like me and you that live in England. We're kind of used to it because we've been here from an early age. But seeing these, big professional stars coming from sunny sides like Madrid to little Manchester where it rains every 2 days,
it's funny. If you see any of the players that are come new and you see them in like training sessions and stuff like that, everyone's wearing t-shirt. They're cold. They're freezing when it comes to like October and the season's starting.
But then again, look, I included Nolito. Then you have David Silva on the other spectrum, where he spent 10 years, like on the other side of the spectrum, where he spent 10 years with Man City.
Yes, and Aguero as well. Like just seeing them thrive. Yeah, went from Madrid to chilling in Manchester for goodness how many years. And obviously, Manchester is bad, and obviously they're rich, so they probably don't engage with like the poor sides or anything with this. To be fair.
It's true.
But still, I just can't imagine that they were spending their day to day, probably be able to go to the beach, speaking Spanish, and having a lovely time. To come on over here and just living in moody Manchester.
To go into Cornwall for the summer holiday.
And it's always like when the players move as well, got like deep like their kids just be engaged in all these Spanish ones or whatever. Now they move to a different country, you got engaged with all these now English little chaps
with Jamies and Jeffs.
James to James, real quick.
Honestly, if like it's not the same name.
Man, they call you right in the register. They're expecting James and they call you James.
Nah, I remember first when it was World Cup 2014 and when like James Rodriguez first started becoming like an international star. And when he keeps scoring all these goals, and it was like I don't remember what match it was, but I remember like the next day or whatnot, it was school time, and I remember I was just saying James Rodriguez, and someone told me it's James, and I was like, whoa, does that name even look Spanish to you for them to even have the pronunciation? Like, where did that come from? But now now it's normal, James Rodriguez, but before it was just like. Bit of an
James Rodriguez.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Now it sounds weird to say.
Yeah. I don't saying James Rodriguez doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
But it's funny because that kind of sparked almost a little bit of a cult culture around the name James and James, that you had people who wasn't Spanish calling themselves James as a joke.
Yeah. He's a quality player though. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I don't know what Real Madrid done.
Crazy. Yeah.
Real Madrid, I don't know, like they slowed him down to the point where when he was on the bench, it was just sad to see him there. No wonder he wanted to go to like Bayern Munich for 2 years because at least he got a bit of game time going on.
Like as kind of a semi-regular thing for Real Madrid as well. Real Madrid as well. They kind of just buy and then they almost don't think like their midfield is stacked for them to be able to get rid of James. Learn Bale, learn Ceballos, and still have like God knows how many midfielders that they still have with Asensio, Isco, Odegaard.
What about their like? Look at the wingers. Look how many wingers they've bought, and how many strikers? What it was two seasons or like last transfer window, 2 transfers window ago, when it was when they bought Rodrigo, they bought I think they had Vinicius already, but they got Hazard. They ended up getting Luka Jovic. And I'm like, why? Why are you getting so many players? For what?
Like, all these attackers for no real reason. Like with like what was the other one? When they sold Ronaldo, they bought like this guy Mariano who had one good season in France. They only gave him Ronaldo's shirt, and then I was like, what?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's exactly. And they bought him as well. And I was just thinking, like, there is okay, fair enough. You want depth in your team, but at the same time, you're kind of killing these guys' careers in a way for those that are staying on the bench anyway. Like Luka
Yeah.
Jovic. When he was playing for Eintracht Frankfurt the season prior to that, he was playing sick. He was playing very good. Even for Serbia nowadays, he still plays and he still plays good. But when was the last time Real Madrid put him up? They put up Vinicius Junior, who then gets chatted behind his back by Benzema.
Benzema.
Benzema, a big 32-year-old.
Benzema said he's against us. Oh,
I can't
you know
believe
about the Benzema Valbuena scandal?
I do, yeah, I do. That was
Benzema.
That was for what? That was blackmailing with something.
Yeah, he blackmailed his nudes or sex tape or something like that, and that's why it's something like why he never plays for France or anything anymore. And
yeah. But since then, Valbuena didn't even play, but I don't think that's because of that. But yeah, Benzema didn't come back to the team since that time.
Yeah, but Benzema's got that personality which you can kind of just tell he's arrogant.
Yeah, it's true.
And his Instagram, he's always got like some form of him in like his Ferraris or Lamborghinis. There's always like his big shoe, and Benzema's an interesting guy.
And he's what's that? What like he's like he? I think he played a vital role in like them winning all those UCL championship, championship.
Yeah.
But it's his attitude towards football that's just a bit iffy.
Yeah. Like, no matter how someone's playing for your team, you cannot be a professional and then mid-match be telling another to don't pass the ball to him. He's against us. You just can't do that. Especially he's like Vinicius is a youngster, and you're like a big grown senior player. You're like one of the oldest players there.
Yeah. If anything, you should take him to the side and tell him like stop doing this, and not talk literally. In another language where that the other guy is not going to understand.
Like he's literally next to he's your strike partner in essence. You're the striker, he's the winger. If you want something done, I'm sure that you know enough. Like what he's Brazilian, but I'm sure they probably can speak a common Spanish.
Yeah,
I don't know. That just rubs me the wrong way. That you as a person that shows they're not really good. Imagine you just come to a club, you're not having a good game, blah blah blah. But one of the senior players is just there bickering about you to someone else.
And you only find out through Instagram where people are actually commenting on it already.
It's just
it's crazy. And I think like look at Isco for example.
Yeah.
Beautiful talent, beautiful player. I'm sorry, but Isco, like in terms of like his style of play, I really enjoy watching him because he's so entertaining. Technical, quick, on the ball, beautiful, nice, nice passes, everything. But on the bench for Real Madrid.
Yeah. I don't.
If you're not going to use them, just sell them.
Because they lose vital years of just chilling there.
Yeah.
But like Real Madrid's midfield, they have loads, and they still haven't really replaced the aging players at all. They've got what Modric is 35, Kroos is 30, Isco's on 28. Wow. Even Lucas Vasquez, that winger, he's 29.
Yeah.
Face of a baby.
Yeah, I know. Lucas Vasquez has been in the squad for a while now as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's kind of like a role player. He's a role player for Real Madrid, I would say.
Yeah, certain people they know their ability. You know you're never going to be Real Madrid's main starting winger, but you're enough to you're playing the Copa del Rey and all of that. Yeah. You do your part.
What do you think of England's youngsters? That's sort of like the last question of the podcast.
When I look at England, they have lots of young, and they've got let me actually look at them because they've got a lot of who is it? You've got Jadon Sancho who's young, you've got Sterling who's young-ish, you're like senior young, and that makes like the 24s around there. You've got Rashford who's still young, but I don't know if it's Gareth Southgate or not. England's a team that doesn't seem to be molded well together whatsoever. They should be on course-ish to contest for the Euros next season.
Yeah.
But
you know what? Yeah, I think they could. I think they could.
I think they 100% should. They should. Whether or not they do, I feel like it'll receive while Gareth Southgate puts them out. But I see some of the lineups, and like this Gareth Southgate will put like we do a 3 at the back, but then the 3 and 5 at the back, depending how you play, is kind of the same thing nowadays. And then they play like 2 centre mids, and the 2 centre mids with Declan Rice and Jordan Henderson. Like, where are the attacking outlet? Why do you have like 7 defensive players? Harry Kane up top, Mason Mount, who always has to play.
What was the team that they were playing against? That's the funny thing as well.
Oh, yeah. Let me get up England actually on here. The last game
it wasn't
playing again. They did play Belgium and they lost 2-0.
I think it was Iceland. It might have been Iceland then.
Oh yeah, they beat this team 4-0. Wait, no, I need to find one where they've got like a proper defensive out lineup. Here it is. It was when they lost to Denmark in Nations League. They had Kyle Walker defensive, Connor Cody defensive, Maguire defensive, Reece James defensive, Declan Rice defensive, Calvin Phillips defensive, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who was playing like a wingback, so semi-defensive, but was meant to semi-transition into attack. And then you got Mason Mount, Rashford, and Harry Kane. I don't know, like the formation, everything is weird with England, and I don't know when they're gonna finally drop Jordan Pickford because he's not a good goalkeeper.
Who would you have him replace? Pope?
I think Pope is better. I think Dean Henderson's better.
I feel sorry for Dean Henderson. Man United should let him go. A young player like that, for him to stay on the bench. Come on. He didn't have a good season in Sheffield for no reason, guys.
Yeah. I think the only thing with Henderson is that he's probably been promised, especially with the way David De Gea has been playing, that essentially you sign a contract, you are the next goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You stay here, you are guaranteed to be essentially a successor.
And
he's young enough to be able to wait for it. Kind of like Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus probably promised Aguero's throne afterwards. So it was just like, you might as well.
Might as well stay.
Kind of be like, well, chill, get an earning, just chilling on the bench, maybe play a game every so often.
Well, he plays a lot of games as well, though.
Yeah. It was funny about Dean Henderson. He finally plays a game for United, and it was in the Champions League. And I don't know if you saw Demba Ba's goal, where United probably did the worst defending I've actually seen from a corner. Have you seen it?
Seen this.
Basically, so it's a corner, and it was when United were in that bad form, and everyone was talking about them and Maguire's everything going on in his life and everything. When so they've got a corner, and then it's like the 20-something minutes, like it's still early in the first half, 0-0. They've hit the corner and blah blah. They've put every single player almost in the box, or in and around the box region. And all they've had is Demba Ba basically chilling at the halfway line. Obviously, he's in his own half, so he's still on side. They just thumped it to him, and he just ran through on goal. As if it's kind of like when, Torres scored against Barcelona. Like that.
Yeah. Oh, so wait. So Manchester United had the corner. And they had every single player.
Man United had the corner. Like, the whole back line was like in the box or anything, and around it. Yeah. So when Demba Ba counted, there was no one near him. And then he just ran and scored against Henderson. I was like, it was the defending you would see if you're losing by 1 goal and you have to 100% get a goal in the 90th minute. And that was United in the 20th minute. Crazy. So then Dean Henderson's first game, and he had to concede that nonsense.
Conceded already. But that's the thing. What did you watch the rest of that match? I didn't watch the match, to be fair, so I don't really have to see over it.
I saw the goals.
Yeah.
I saw the goals. Luke Shaw, whack. But yeah.
Luke Shaw was a promise, like the next, like sort of, England's left back, and look what happened.
Yeah. But think about, we're speaking about England and everything. Even in the Nations League, they've got a group of Belgium, Denmark, Iceland, and England themselves, and they've not been able. I don't know how the Nations League works, if it's the first team or the second team, but they're third, and I think all the games are done now.
No, it's the first team that only qualifies in. Yeah.
First, okay, so they wasn't close anyway. But yeah, so they should be fighting Belgium for the next spot.
Of course.
Be up there, definitely. Euros or World Cup, they're out. Like, it's not acceptable to be losing games to Denmark and Iceland and also whatever.
No, it's true. Especially if you have the weight of doing pretty well in the World Cup anyway. They
Yeah,
had that weight on their
I think
shoulders of actually, reaching the semis. Okay, fair enough, fourth place, but a lot of inexperienced guys. So the fact that they actually got to the semi-finals of the World Cup, brilliant. But come
I
on,
think
still losing to Denmark.
that's the issue with England as well. They went into say the 2016 Euros when they got knocked out by Iceland. That was almost the end of like a bit of a generation where the Rooney stepped down,
Yeah, the
Sturridge no
Rooney
longer there, and then
generation.
you had the
Yeah,
yeah, and you had the rebirth with like the Kane as the main striker, and then the World Cup came, and there wasn't really any expectations. But then because there wasn't really any expectations, and the whole
they
meme
done
of it's coming
well.
home and everything,
Mm.
like they went a lot further than it was they were speculated to go. But then if you look at it like critically, like game by game, England didn't really play that well in the World Cup.
They
They went
didn't.
for
They
an
got
easy
most of
route
the.
after.
It's true. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're basically set piece merchants. The whole thing. Like Kane got golden boot because he basically got all his goals against Tunisia and Panama. So then that
Yes.
then when they got
And he scored
when
from
they played
like
Colombia,
penalty.
yeah, when they played against Colombia, they couldn't beat them in full time. That had to go to extra time. When they played Belgium in the group, they lost. They played Belgium
Yeah.
again for third place, lost. Anytime they're against a decent team, they're just not good enough, which shows that's
Great.
the issue with England.
They
There's
couldn't
something
handle the
about them
pressure with
that
Croatia.
the Croatia. Realistically, you would think that England versus Croatia, you'd fancy England potentially to probably go through. But then Croatia had an amazing World Cup, Modric,
Yeah.
Perisic, all the itches.
No. I rate for what Croatia done in the World Cup. Definitely, they had a good run.
Yeah.
The way to the final wasn't the best because
But
giants like Spain decided to lose against Russia, but that's their own problem.
I mean, we had Germany who couldn't make it out of the group. Yeah, how you got human son running through and going in the 90th minute to knock you out of the
My
World Cup?
days.
My favorite
Oh
YouTuber
my
is German. I've
days.
seen him crying on the timeline. I'm like,
And
what's
you know what?
going
Imagine
on?
you have a team. You have a team which is well structured against a group of Korea, Sweden, and Mexico, and you decide to come
And they
last.
couldn't make out the group. And the thing is, well, they all, if it wasn't for Tony Kroos's amazing free kick, the penultimate game of the season, they would have been done before they were all finished all that game.
That was a beautiful free kick. That was world class from.
Yeah.
That was the only highlight of the whole campaign.
And even when you think it, Germany again with that thing, they just lost 6-0 again to Spain, and that Spain team isn't that amazing, and they just got slapped 6-0.
Okay, you're gonna hear me say this, yeah. You literally just said that they beat a fully functioning German team 6-0 and they didn't have a good squad. What does that show you? Bro, these guys are going to be lethal. This is the same generation that ended up watching all these Iniestas, like Xavi's, David Silva's on the TV. And bro, when I tell you that Spain is going back to being a threat, like I think they'll contend for Euros and the next World Cup. Look at Ferran Torres, for example, performing well on the Spain like international and in Man City.
Yeah, I think the big thing that Spain need to do is I feel that they need a better striker than Alvaro Morata. They need someone to break through as a really good Spanish striker. That's one thing Spain always had was a clinical crate. Like they had the 10 when they had David Villa and like Fernando Torres. That's insane.
Torres, yeah.
It's true. And now they got Alvaro Morata. And like when I look at the Spain team has got Sergio Roberto, good, Ramos, good, Pau Torres. I haven't heard too much about, but he's quite young. And then they got Gaia at left back. Like the whole team wasn't like man for man that amazing. And then when you look at Germany's team, they had like a good few quality players: Sane, Gnabry, Werner, Kroos, Gundogan, Goretzka, Neuer, Sule, and they got slapped.
They pretty much they put on their first team against against Spain's first young team.
Yeah, and got decimated. And I believe, let me check the standings. Bear in mind the context of it as well, that Germany needed to win to actually get out of the group. So it wasn't like it was a nothing game.
It was a match for everything.
They had to win. Yeah, and they got smashed.
Well, you know what? Yeah, let's see how well they will do in the Nations League, because Nations League will show us a lot. Because all the like what, Belgium are there, Italy are there, Spain are there, and France. I think France is France the last one. I think France is the. It should. I think it should be because I remember looking at it and it was all like the top teams sort of thing qualified through.
Yeah.
To the finals of Nations League.
Yeah. Italy, Belgium, France, Spain. We got the yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what's going on because all 4 of those teams are very good teams in their own right. Play different style of football. So I want to see what's going to happen with this.
With the Nation League, when is the Nation League? Because normally it would be in the year, like, should have been this year coming up, but because of the pandemic, we still got the Euros to come. When does the Nations League take place now?
It's gonna take place in like after that summer, so I'm thinking like maybe September, October times.
Okay,
that's when the finals are gonna take place, like because those are the times where you usually have international football.
Gonna be crazy because it's gonna go like 2021. We'll have the Euros and it will have the what was it called, the Nations League. And 2022 we're in Qatar for the Winter World Cup.
Oh, yeah. How do you think that's gonna happen from November to December? During my birthday, there's gonna be a World Cup match. For all I know,
bummed out about that. Like,
I am as well. Yeah.
Like I'm a big thing on like tradition. Like things shouldn't change, and I'm not saying I don't want to get anything political regarding Qatar or whatnot. But I feel like if the country cannot facilitate it because of weather reasons and health reasons for the players, they really shouldn't be allowed to like.
It's true. I agree with you. Nothing against Qatar, but as you're saying, like I like the fact that everyone associates summer with with the World Cup. Happens every 4 years, so it gives us a little bit of thing to look forward to for the like how many years, but for it to happen in November, December, it's just a bit out of place. Like I'm not sure how it's going to be looking like.
And then
I'm not too
the whole point of the summer as well is that some people use the summer to take time off to go to the country to watch the games, things like that. Like you can't like ask people. Say you're a teacher, for example, and you normally spend like every 4 years you save up to go to the World Cup. It's not like mid. Like you'll be in a lesson and your team could be playing.
Yeah, it's true. And this is
the whole
supposed to be the big World Cup where
everyone has a break.
Exactly. That's the whole point of everything that happened during summer, because everyone's on breaks, everyone's doing everyone can watch, everyone can support. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But thank you, Tyrese, for being here on the podcast with me. You're more than welcome to come back on anytime you want. Again, it was lovely talking to you.
Thank you, bro.
I hope you found it nice as well.
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you very much. And see you guys in the next episode. This has been Patrick for the Ballin podcast. Thank you, guys.
Peace.